Good morning everyone and welcome to the Two-Headed Wolf Gaming channel as we are beginning a brand new series of Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord, a strategy/action RPG that is developed and published by Tailwords Entertainment. And if you've never seen this game before and you are into medieval battles and army leaders, this is a game that you will love. This game came out actually in early access about 2 or 3 years ago, and I have bought the computer I'm playing on now exactly for this game, because I thought that this will be the first game that I ever put out on the channel. Though after spending about 100 hours trying to figure it out, I realized that it was just too early to do so, because there were quests that were incomplete and there were certain mechanics within the game that no matter how far you pushed them, they didn't really have an impact, so the game was not complete. And I said, you know what, I'm just gonna set it aside for now and I'm gonna bring it when it's fully released. And it happened in October, at the end of October 2022, depending on when you watch this. The game has been released in its full version and I'm super excited because I haven't been playing it. I know they've done a lot of updates since its early access, since its first release, but I haven't played it since then and I'm super excited to get into a campaign. So let's get this going. I will shut up while the video plays.
For 500 years, the Calradian Empire dominated the continent. Its armies scattered foes before them. The strongholds of proud tribes crumbled beneath its engines of war. From the forests of the north to the wastes of the south, all was brought beneath the standard of their legions. Brutal as the conquest was, the wise agreed that it brought peace. The land, now untroubled by armies, grew rich, but empires, like men, grow old. Leaders lose a common cause. Corruption spreads. Old enemies learn the Empire's tricks and devise new ones of their own. Until one day, the bonds holding the Empire snap. Then comes the Civil War, pitting all against all. A time of hatred. A time of suffering. But also, even in the worst hours, a time of courage and defiance. As new leaders arise, from new places and new peoples, to turn back the tides of destruction and bring forth a new world from the ashes of the old.
Time to create our character, and we start by picking our character's culture. And what you need to know is that in this game you are just one person. You are someone who's unknown, a peasant among many. The faction that you are picking does not mean that you are part of that faction and that you are some lord holding lands. You are someone who's trying to make it out in the world, who's trying to make a name for himself. He's trying to make money. He grows his maybe trading company, maybe merchant company, maybe you want to be a army leader, probably mostly an army leader, but you can focus on different paths or different ways to achieve that. And as you are doing missions for local lords and merchants, at some point maybe some faction leaders will ask you, because of your reputation, to do certain tasks for them. Or they might want you to be hired as mercenary and pay you to take care of the enemy armies. And in time, if you get enough reputation, then you will have at least an opportunity to get to join one of these factions and fight for them. But in this game, you can even become and create an independent faction of your own and go and conquer the world. If that is what you want to do, you can do that. So we start here with the cultures. Each one of these culture has their very own types of troops that they use, and they have their very own bonuses and penalties. These cultures have sort of a real life similarities with some of the ancient factions in history. For example, the Aserai, they are nomadic Bedouins. They are mostly like the Saracens from medieval times, right? They have camels, they live in the desert, so they take no speed penalties when fighting in the desert. They are good traders. The Kuzites, they are more of a nomad type of society. I don't think that they actually move on the maps like their city, their villages, but they have troops that remind you of the Mongolian hordes. A lot of horse archers, a lot of cavalry. So it's very interesting to play with them if you are looking for that kind of experience. The Batanians, I think I could best describe them as the Gauls in modern day France, the old Gauls. They are forest people, they are ruthless in battle. You can see that they use great axes and two-handed swords. They are fearless. They even get their bonuses when fighting in forest. So there's a lot to say about that. The Empire, I could say it's as easy as any game that has an empire because it's modeled, or most of them are modeled after the Roman Empire. This is mostly like the western side of the Roman Empire, where the cities still survive and they stood tall and they prospered. Then you have the Vlandians. The Vlandians, I feel like this is the faction that is closest to my heart. This is actually the first faction I've ever played in the game. They are the eastern side of the Roman Empire, but it's more of the tribes that have moved in the old Roman cities, like the Gets. And they have tried to adopt this kind of culture or knowledge for building fortresses, and they have heavy armor and they're really tough. So somehow I find them, it's like a mix between the Empire and maybe something more open to fighting like the Batanians, or, you know, a mix of that. And I feel like the castles that I have in my country remind me a lot of the Vlandians, so that's why I like playing with them. But in order to honor what I wanted to do a long time ago and what I started with on the channel, basically playing a lot with Vikings or Norse cultures, we're going with Sturgians, which pretty much go with the same kind of idea of Norsemen. Sturgians are the descendants of the foreign tribes of northern Calradia. As the empire expanded into their cold forests, they found a ready market for the luxurious furs of woodland animals whom they traditionally hunted and trapped. Sturgian chieftains, I'm not sure, maybe Sturgian? Sturgian's chieftain became princes, vying for preeminence with the help of the Norse mercenaries who migrated into their realm. They are good hunters and wanderers traveling far in search of opportunities both for trade and for plunder. So recruiting and upgrading infantry troops are 25% cheaper, army lose 20% less daily cohesion, and 20% more relationship penalty for kingdom decisions. We will see this as we play along. Don't need to go over all the details because there's plenty in this game. So Sturgians will have very good infantry, and it's going to be a challenge to see how will we be able to fight the horse-heavy factions. We have good hunters, and I think this means that we will have good javelin throwers or armies like that, and this will be very good against cavalry, but we will have to see how we protect them, and we will have to adapt our tactics in order to succeed. Okay, enough about that. We have male and females. I like this. It's not a huge change if you play male or female, in a sense, but it does have a certain impact in the world. Like, you have to fight for longer in order to be recognized as a female lord. But if that's what you want to do, why not do it? Sure, we're gonna go with this. Height, you can become a giant if that's what you want. However, even though shields scale up with this, I feel like it might be a problem because we might be soaking too many arrows. So I'll just go with the height of this. Let's go down with our weight and bulk up a little bit. This should be good enough. It's not gonna do anything for our stats, so this is mostly visual. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time in this type of menu, so we'll just do this. Eyebrow depth. Okay. Brow inner height. Yeah, let's make him a bit more angry. Yeah, I do like that. Mood-lid eyes. Yeah, we'll keep it normal. We'll say blue. Don't care about the nose. You can even pick your teeth. Sometimes see them in conversation, but I'm just gonna keep it classic. Hair is most important, I would say. Let's see, we'll pick a color that seems good enough. As far as hair goes, I think I'm okay with that ponytail or something, and a beard that is worth of a Viking. Something like this. Or we could go full style here. Something a bit more normal. Okay, I think I'm happy with this. Let's see, we can throw ourselves at a tattoo. But I'm not really into tattoos in games, generally speaking. Yeah, we'll put a scar. We've been attacked by a small bear. So we'll have that scar going on for us, and we'll hit next. You were born into a family, so at this point we have on our left our attributes, which is vigor, representing the ability to move with speed and force in combat. Basically, it's how quickly you attack mostly. Control represents the ability to use strength without sacrificing precision. You might know that if you want to use a bow, you need a lot of strength. Also, to throw a projectile like a pilum or something like that would still require a lot of strength. Endurance is your ability to carry heavy armor, to use smithing, and also to ride a horse. The cunning attribute here will add up to your roguery, your tactics, and your scouting. Scouting is used to get more information from the map. Tactics is used to give you a battle advantage, giving you some points. There is kind of a morale system, and when your morale runs out or the enemy morale runs out, the battle is over. Then you have roguery. Roguery is used to bribe, intimidate people. Like, there are certain situations where that is useful. Then we have social here, which helps us with charming people, leadership, giving morale and encouraging our troops, or trade, the ability to buy for less and sell for more. Finally, we have intelligence, which is about stewardship. Stewardship will help you organize both your estates when you have land, or to increase the party size and help them use less or cost less. Then we have medicine to heal our people, and engineer, which can be used a lot in buildings, construction, and also in making siege weapons. So you were born into a family of whatever you choose here, it will give you some points. You are making your history right now. And what I like a lot about this game is the fact that you are getting these different types of clothes depending on who you play with. It's a small detail there, but I feel it adds a lot to like this first step, the charm that you get from the first time playing it. And I decided overall that I want to go with urban artisans meaning that our family owned their own workshop in a city, making goods from raw materials brought in from the countryside. Your father played an active, if minor, role in the town council and also served in the militia. We will be getting 10 skill levels and 1 focus point on to smithing and one-handed weapons. So it's smithing, one-handed weapons, and also we get a point in intelligence. I will talk about focus point a bit later. As a child, we were noted for our leadership skills, our brawn, our attention to details, our aptitude with numbers, our way with people, or our skill with the horses. And once again, you are getting different points in different areas. I will be choosing our way with people because I want to have some charm and some leadership, because I want to go a lot in this direction and try to negotiate maybe or help people just so we can join a faction quicker. You are always attentive to other people, good at guessing their motivation. You studied how individuals were swayed and write out what you learn from adults on your friends. Like all village children, you helped out in the fields. You also herded sheep, worked in the village smithy, repaired projects, gathered herbs in the wild, hunted small game, or sold products at the market. I will say gathered herbs in the wild here, I think. Yeah, we'll go with gather herbs in the wild. You are sent by the village healer up into the hills to look for useful medicinal plants. You learn which herbs healed wounds or brought down a fever and how to find them. I want the endurance because I'll be using a lot of riding and I'll be using a lot of the athletics as well as we play along, so I want this to go up. Scouting over here will offer us a bit more information, so this might be useful for us, and get a bit of medicine. That's always useful when healing our troops and making sure that they do not die. As a youngster growing up in Calradia, war was never too far away. You trained with the Half Guard, stood guard with the garrison, rode with the scouts, train with the infantry, join the skirmishers, or march with the camp followers. I decided on this one that I'll be going with train with the infantry because I want more points into one-handed fighting. For polearms, I don't care too much for it, but we will have that skill and we get a bit more vigor, which is important for fighting. Levy armed with a spear and shield drawn from small holdings farmers have always been the backbone of most armies of Calradia. Before you set out on a life of adventure, your biggest achievement was to defeat an enemy in battle, saved our village from a flood, invested some money in land, hunted a dangerous animal, had a famous escapade in town, or we treated people well. And you will see that depending on what we choose here, we get different reputation, and even the choices on the right. I feel like you are getting different choices. It's not a huge pool from which you get this randomized list, but there are a few that show up every once in a while. But if we defeat an enemy in battle, we get daring. Valor represents your reputation for risking your life to win glory or wealth or advance your cause. So you get this kind of reputation and people will know you for it, and this will grow. You get some of this is calculating, honest, keeping your word and obeying the law, generous for being loyal to our kin and those who serve us, and merciful, showing willingness to help strangers or even enemies. So this type of reputation will follow you around, and you can get both positive and negative reputation, which opens up new gates for you. On this side, let me think. What do I want to do? I probably want to get a bit more points. Defeat an enemy in battle to get one-handed and two-handed fighting, and also an extra point in vigor. I think I like that. Like many families in Calradia, your life was upended by war. Your home was ravaged by the passage of army after army. Eventually you sold your property and set off with your father, mother, brother, and your 2 younger siblings to a new town you'd heard was safer. But you did not make it. Along the way, the inn at which you were staying was attacked by raiders. Your parents were slain, and your 2 youngest siblings seized. But you and your brother survived because we either subdued our raiders, drove them off with arrows, rode off on a fast horse, tricked the raiders, or organized the travelers to break out. I think I'm gonna organize the travelers to break out. We will get charming point, another point in leadership, and one more point in social. So we start with good vigor and good social. You encourage the few travelers in the inn to break out in a coordinate fashion. Raiders killed or captured most, but you and your brother were able to escape. So here we are preparing for the world. What name are we going to choose for ourselves? Let's call ourselves Arthur. Sure, we'll stay like that. As far as difficulty goes, I think we're gonna go with something that's a bit more custom here. Player receive damage will stay at realistic, and friendly troops receive damage will stay at realistic. We want to keep this as difficult as we can. Recruitment difficulty, I will go for very easy, and we will get 2 extra troops. I mean, on one side, it's you get troops quicker, and thus whenever you lose an army, you at some point when you have money and all that, like you can recruit them quicker, and that of course can offer you an advantage. But I really want to have a lot of battles, and a lot of big battles if possible, so I want to go with this just to speed up our start if nothing else. Map movement speed, I will also go here with very easy, which is another, in a sense, there will be times when you want to run away from bigger parties, right? A 10% extra speed to you will get you out of troubles many times. But at the same time, the map is so big that I think for a YouTube series, and we're not playing on our own, right? For a YouTube series, getting the extra speed will just make the episodes quicker, where we will be fighting more or making decisions that matter rather than just waiting to move around the map. Being quicker also means that you will not be receiving as much healing because there's not enough time between certain places. So it's a plus and a minus at the same time. Persuasion success will leave at realistic. Combat AI difficulty, I think I'm going to stay at challenging, make it difficult enough. Or should we go down a peg? No, let's keep it challenging. I'm hoping that they are smarter and they don't get some random weird buffs. Clan members' death possibility in battle and hero deaths in combat. I am going to remove this. In other games, like Darkest Dungeon, maybe I'm okay with people dying, but in this game I invest a lot of time in trying to create the perfect companions, let's say, and I don't like when they die. At least not in this game. Auto-allocate clan member perks, no, and Iron Man I do not care for, because for YouTube reasons I want to be able to save and have backup points, plenty of backup points, just in case it crashes. I have tried in the past to record on Iron Man, like somewhere in the beginning, and after a crash I realized that it was very bad for a series, so that's why I stopped. I'm gonna skip the tutorial. Long story short, our brother is suggesting that we should be splitting up in order to look for our siblings. Our siblings, our 2 kids, our 2 baby brother and sister that were captured by bandits. So that is one of the missions that we will be doing, so we split up, and thus I am on my own. A few hours after you leave the training ground, you come across a wounded man lying under a tree. You share your water with him and try to dress his wounds as best as you can. He tells you he's a traveling doctor. To thank you for your help, he hands you a small bronze artifact which he says was once given to him in payment by a warrior who said only that it was related to Neretz's folly. Neretz being one of the gods in this game, if I remember correctly, but we'll find more of the important story later. He suspects it might be of great value. You resolve to find out more. You can follow these quests, or you can just ignore them. There will be points where it will be useful, no matter who you join, to go and follow these quests. So this is the first piece that we have. Select your family name. Shall we call ourselves the Two-Headed Wolves? Arthur... I'm gonna say Arthur of the Two-Headed Wolf. Yeah. We'll say this. And now we have to make up our banner. In order to honor the channel, I think this looks... I'm not sure, this looks more like a bear than a wolf. Maybe. But I find this to be the closest. I know there were some ways in which you could import your banner. Maybe I will try to do that later on. But for now, I'm just gonna stay with this. And I'm gonna go with these colors just to be as close to the channel as we can. You can see it's going, the colors will be on your clothes. They will be on your shields and flags, and you will be having different armors which will also show your banner. And you can change this later on. But for now, we're going to go with this. I have just a few more explanations because they are important. I want to show this game off to you before I get started, and trust me, if you like what you see right now, just take a look at what are the resources needed, if your computer can run this game or not, and if it can, go pick it up for yourself. If you can't, look for Mountain Blade 1, and you'll like that game too. So, what do we have here? On our left, we have our attribute points. You can see here that we get one free attribute point every 4 levels. On the right, we have here our focus points. And focus points will pretty much, for each skill that you have, first of all, increase your learning limit. How far can you learn this skill? How far can you improve this skill? And also your learning rate. Basically, you'll be gaining experience as you use whatever skill is here. For example, for one-handed weapons, if I am going to be using a one-handed sword and I'm attacking with it and I'm doing damage with it, I will be getting experience for that. If I have more learning points invested in this, I'll be learning it faster. So we're learning now at a ×7 rate than usual because we have, first of all, a base of 125, then vigor +2, we have vigor 4, but all of our stats start at 2, so another +2 adds also to the learning rate. Finally, we have the skill focus, which we have 3 points, which we added from the beginning from our history, which gave us another 3.75, which means that we get 1.25 per focus point. Okay, each skill, you can get its basic information about how to use it and how you can gain experience with it. But if you want more numbers, if you are a person who likes to add up the numbers and figure out how much damage they do and all that, you can take a look in the information bar. Right now, because we are at 30, we passed one of these lines, we can pick a special skill. These skills exclude each other. So you have to figure out what you prefer. How do you customize your character in such a way that it will give you what you think is the best kind of leader or army? We have Basher here. Shield bashes now deal 50% more damage and stun your enemies for longer, which can be good. Infantry troops take 4% less melee damage while in shield wall formation. We have formation in the games. One-handed weapon you wield have their handling increased by 20%. That basically means that you can use a weapon with higher ease. And troops in the formation you are leading have their one-handed combat effectiveness as if it were 1 tier higher. And I believe that that is really good. I'm gonna go with deflect here. And the focus point that we have, I will be investing in athletics. Athletics provides us with running speed, reduces our penalty from weight. Basically, wearing heavier armor will give us some penalties, but if we are strong enough, we will be able to carry it with ease, and it also improves our knockback and knockdown resistance. This is especially important in battle. I'm gonna throw one focus point here, so for a while we'll be able to improve it. And how do you improve it? By fighting on foot and move on map on foot. We start with the horse, So this might be not as useful for us, or we might not gain enough points early on, but we might dismount the horse. And I'll stop here with the explanation. On this side we have weapons and armors. We will need to find a lot more. Our party, we have 2 quests for now. First of all, establish our clan, which means that we need to increase the denars to 2000. We start with 1000, but we'll be going through this pretty quickly. Grow our party to 20 men. Reach clan tier 1, which we need 30 more renown in order to do that, and hire a companion being a randomly generated more important character. And investigate Nerez's folly, ask some nobles about it, try to find lords and ladies and ask about the empire's recent history just to find out what this Nerez's folly is. Finally, we have our clan screen, where we can see different parts, like we can have multiple members within our families, and we will be able to marry and have children, and the children will grow up, and you can then add them to your party. You can have more territory. There's a lot that you can do. If you go here to your character, you can see that this is our brother, these are our brothers, and this is our sister. At the moment we do not know where they are. Like if we take a look at each one of them, we can see their skills, we can see when have we met them. This is more of a story thing. I mean, we start at this date. But you'll be able to find different people on the map just by going and checking out these menus. Okay, enough talk, let's get to action. You can see that we have plenty of villages on the map. They have here the goods that they produce, which will help you if you want to do some tradings and make some money. Poros is one of the bigger cities. You can see it's a fortress in the area. There are smaller castles as well. And this is the entire map. It's quite large. And we want to get up here. So this is where I want to reach as soon as we can. Because the story said that because we were constantly attacked by different armies, we sold our land and we started moving to a different place, right? So that's why we start here. But our culture and where we were born was up here. Okay. Let's go and see if we can find ourselves a few soldiers. You can see that there are 18 looters there. They might be attacking the village. We're not going to be waiting for this. We have only one person in our army. You can see that they have a speed of 4.8 and they have 18 infantry units, and we have a speed of 7.5. This will go down if we get infantry units. It's gonna stay stable or go up if we have cavalry units, and it's also going to slow down whenever we get prisoners. Okay, there's no troops here to get. If I take a look at the goods, there's a good price for wool, which we might take advantage of. Let's see. Oh, but we don't have a lot of carrying capacity. If you get more troops, you'll have more carrying capacity. Everybody will be able to carry at least a little bit. We have some caravans around. There we go, we get some soldiers now. This is why I said that at the very easy difficulty recruitment, we will get a bit more troops, right? We could spend some time just running around the map and trying to recruit these soldiers, or we could get 2 extras whenever there's a chance. Like, there's a higher chance to get troops. All of these troops, you can see they're imperial recruits. They're mostly peasants, basically. But they can gain experience. And once you have enough experience, you can turn them into different units. You can see that we can get imperial infantrymen, then imperial trained infantrymen, and then we can make them veterans and legionaries. Menavliaton. I don't know why that turned so French, but all of these will increase in their experience and their strength and their armor. Or we could go on the side of archers, we could make horse archers, crossbowmen. There's a lot of troops that you could recruit. And this is the really cool thing about this game. It makes you care more about your troops because you will want and you will need them in order to survive and make money. But you'll rarely die. You'll be you'll be taken down, but you are quite immortal. Maybe Iron Man makes you less immortal. I guess that's pretty much it. But you can also see that because we are riding, we're going on horse, we gain a skill point in riding. So this is how you get pretty much all your experience. Over here we probably have stone. Let's go over there. Maybe we can even buy some stone that we can sell it somewhere. Let's say recruit the troops. Over here we have an Imperial Villa recruit. This is clay and it comes at a very cheap price. So let's buy. We will pay 180 because the price is green. It means it's cheaper. It's 50% cheaper here. I think we would want a bit more grain because we don't have a lot of food. It shows you that it's more expensive. But we'll need the food. 5 days worth of food. And I am going to go on this path towards Likaron. What I am doing now, apparently there is a quest in this city, so we're gonna check it out. But also, what we have to do is look for bandits. Early on, we want to fight some bandits in order to gain some experience and also gain from them, loot some weapons and armors that we could improve. Maybe a shield. A shield is very important for us in order to protect ourselves against missiles. And this Imperial Villa recruit can be turned, as you can see, into an Imperial Equite. And this can go up in weapons and armors. Cavalry like that can be very tough to take down, at least by bandits. We can take a walk through the lands. I'm just gonna show you this quickly. Once again, this first episode I'm going to be presenting you as much as I can, in a sense, to sell you the game. If you've never played it, like if you have the resources, the money and the computer to run it, this is an awesome game, and this is not at max details. But look at this. Look how good it looks. But if you don't have the money, like I didn't have the money for many other games in the past, YouTube videos really help. Okay, so the person with the quest is there. You hold the alt button to see this. And I've extended a bit the FOV, the field of view. Like you could even go in first person if that is your thing. But I prefer third person.
So who are you then?
Yeah, nice to meet you. I heard you have a problem. The harvest has been poor and the rats have eaten much of our stores. We can eat less and tighten our belts, but if we don't have seed grain left over to plant, we'll start the next year. Is there a way to prevent this? Grain will solve our problems. If we had 30 bushels, we could use it to sow our fields, but I doubt that Likaron has so much to sell at this time of the year. 30 bushels of grain cost around 930 at the market, and we don't have that. I think we can make this money. Is there another way? I know you're busy, but maybe you can ask some of your men to find us that grain. 4 men should do the job along with 420, and I'd reckon the whole affair should take about 2 weeks. I'm desperate here, sir. Don't let our children starve. This is an easy mission. We don't have a companion to send. Like if we had one extra important character like our brother, we could send him and 4 men to find this for better cash. But the price that they told us is very, how do you say, it's without any kind of negotiations or buying it where it's cheap. So what do we need to do? I think we need to look for 30? Yeah, 30. So we need to bring them 30 grain. Can we carry that? I feel like we can. 10 whey for 5 food. Pretty close. But let's check things out. Let's make money first and then we'll go to Spotia, where it seems like they're producing grain. So Licarion, please offer us a really good price on our clay. No, it's very cheap actually. So this hasn't been helping us. While we are here, let's buy ourselves a basic shield. You can see that it's a large shield. There are small shields which are quicker to bring up, but large shields produce a larger area of protection. So we'll get one here. Weight 3.6, weight 4.2. I guess we'll get the lighter shield. And there we go. And we now have a shield on our back. This one, you don't have to keep it in your hand. If you have it on your back and someone tries to shoot an arrow in your back or tries to attack you on your back, it will still hit the shield. So this is one way to protect yourself. How much money are we paying our mercenaries? 27. Okay. For now, yeah, we cannot recruit from the city. Let's go to... Maybe let's go to Fikaon here. If we're lucky, we get some bandits along the way. See Norse party, there's some looters there. Looters are fairly easy as a fight. You wanna, early on, you want to avoid... Come on, let's catch them. What you want to do, you want to avoid mountain bandits. Mountain bandits are really tough. And here we are on the battlefield. We have our warriors. Well, warriors is a bit much. They're mostly peasants. And we can tell them to follow us. We can tell them to march. We can ask them to stay in a certain formation. We can ask them to face a certain direction. Like, we could do a lot here. But we're gonna take ourselves forward. And we're just gonna distract them for a bit. You can see that they're throwing rocks. Rocks are the most basic of ranged weapons. Fighting is very directional. Like, if I press the mouse to the right and go to the right, like I have this swing. If I press the mouse and go to the left, I have this kind of swing. So you have up and down and you can defend in different ways. You can have the same thing with the shield, but in the gameplay menu, I've set it to automatically defend, because I don't want to pay that much attention to how I'm defending with the shield, especially in this kind of big battles. So it's mostly just this that I like to do. Had our first fight, gained a bit of experience here and there. You can see that we could upgrade 5 of our troops, and I'm gonna make some Imperial infantrymen first of all. They will be costing us a bit of money just to upgrade them, and then they will cost us more money in how much we are paying them in wages. But they will be stronger. These are just peasants. These have swords, they have shields, and they have a better attack. So that's what we want. We could get a looter here. Looters, they will be our prisoners for a while. But you could also recruit them. We gain some of the armor, we gain a bit of grain. Wrapped shoes. A cracked hoe, which can be also a two-handed weapon. You can choose how you want to use it. It has here some stats, like you can see it has bonus against shields, a pickaxe. And what else does it say? It's a civilian weapon. Okay, now we are disorganized. They've added this in order for you not to cheese the system too much. Basically what disorganized does is that you'll be moving a lot slower for a while. Not for a lot, but for a while. Let's see at Chanopsis if we can get ourselves cheap grain. Recruiting some warriors. We don't have a lot of money left. Maybe let's see... What is the cost of grain? It's very cheap. We needed what? 30 bushels. Okay, we need to carry more and we need to sell some of these. So as far as the price goes, it's very cheap. We could make the money by selling this. But we are overweight. Let's recruit the troops first. And if I go now to buy products, still not a whole lot. Let's see. I want what? It was 30, right? If I sell some of these, yeah, I have to sell the clay first. It's good that we know that it's very cheap here, because now I'll be going to the town. Please offer us a good price on the clay. It's still very cheap. Okay, I'll sell the weapons and armors then. First of all, to make some money. We can also recruit now. You can see that we can recruit the looter, and because the looter is from this area, we can give him some experience. Right? This troop requires veterans respect leadership perk to upgrade. So in order to upgrade him, we need to be... Where were the perks? I think it's in leadership. Yeah, veterans respect. In order to convert bandits into regular troop, which can be very good for us, as we have bandits all the time around. But for now, let's go to the tavern and choose a prisoner to be ransomed. We'll get some money out of it. Not a whole lot, but that should be good enough. Caravan ambush. I don't care for that mission at this time, I feel. Or let's see what he talks about. I heard you may have a problem. I don't think you help me. You don't have enough troops for this task. Okay. So we're not throwing ourselves at a mission that we can't really handle. Where do I want to go next to try to sell that clay? We're gonna go this way. Does this quest? This quest has 16 more days to be completed. Okay, we have to go around here. Let's see, I might have to sell the clay at a loss just to complete that mission. This is a huge loss. But if I was to buy the grain... Let's see, so I want the 30 grain, right? So I say I want 33 grain just so we can stay with some food. And I want to sell this. We're gonna have left 20 gold. Sorry, let me reposition myself on the chair. We will have 20 gold left, so that is not good. I can't lose that much money. I am going to go here and sell it at a better price, which was 7 or something. It's not a great price, it wasn't the best deal, but I hoped. Yeah. So we get a bit of money, but we're not getting... If we were to have sold it at a much higher price, then we would have gained some points into trading. We could recruit more troops there, but we don't need it. So, let's see, grains. 33. That leaves us with 55 gold and still some capacity. Cool. And now we will go back to, where was it? Canterion. So it's right here. Let's see, we might find a battle along the way. This first episode is full of explanations. We get a bit more scouting, we can get a bit more looters, but we'll just give the quest first. About the task you gave me, here is your grain. Thank you, sir, you are a savior. Now they have grain. You can see that their prices are high. 290% more expensive. We gain some relationship here. Having relationship with the people means that you'll be able to recruit more troops. And I do not have the gold right now to do anything. So what I am going to do is I'm going to go after these looters. If you don't have enough gold, morale will be going down. And people will want to leave.
We got no quarrel with you.
Yeah, they're a bit afraid of us because we have a big army, but even though you don't have a quarrel with us, we need the money. We have a quarrel with you. So how should I fight this battle? Like, if I go on horse, let's charge at them for now. Yeah, I shouldn't have hit that. And what I'm trying to do now is just distract them a little bit. Ooh, we got a hit there on us. Let me just go down from the horse. Now you want your attacks to be always quicker than the enemies. He is running away, we're not gonna let him. Ah! I'm gonna try to catch him. You can see at the top the morale system that I was talking about. This goes down if you lose troops, this goes down if your troops lose morale and things like that. Let's try to use this spear. I'm not really good, I'm really rusty. And do not worry if you're not good at this game in the beginning. Go on an easier difficulty and trust me that you will be getting used to the game in no time. Plus you'll be getting a bit more skills. So we have lost 2 troops, an Imperial recruit and a Villa recruit. They have lost 13. We got ourselves some wraps. All the armor in this game is visible, which is really awesome for any game. Okay, a tunic, we got a bit more grain, some tattered rags. Better foot armor. Tailored wraps, okay. Now, we've gained a bit of gold, which is good for us. I am going to go here to the city just to sell. Let's see, buy products. And we're not gonna sell, wait a minute, I don't wanna sell the grain. But I wanna sell these. They have cash supplies as well, so you have to be careful with this. Don't oversell, but you'll get a warning message as well. Good, now we're starting to make some money. We have some troops at the ready. Let's see if he has another mission where he needs grain. The harvest was poor. He wants 30 bushes as well. You know what? We're gonna go for this mission. It's fairly easy. But apparently this entire area has now problems with food. Okay, found ourselves some extra looters. The speed that we have is helping us catch them. And this is why I wanted the extra speed. I do not want to spend a lot of time just trying to chase down the enemies. I want to fight. I'm gonna keep my shield up. Yeah. Okay, so he tried to defend there. This guy has a weapon that it has a longer reach. So I think what I want to do here is actually I want to fight on the ground. Ah! He was quicker than us there with that attack. And almost took us down. But we gained a bit more in athletics, we gained a bit more in one-handed weapons. So everything will just add up in the end. We will be healing up our hit points and we're getting better warriors overall. Like, look at this. We have now Imperial trained infantrymen. This will be so good. And so I'm going to bring in some archers. 4 archers should be more than enough. Let's get the rest to be infantrymen. And that's about it. We're gonna pay some of our gold. And we're gonna stop there for a while, I believe. Mostly because we cannot afford spending gold too wildly. This will heal up, and as we are healing up, we'll be getting more points into medicine. Some of our troops will be... You can see that as we're getting higher medicine, some of our troops will just get wounded. Casualty survival chance, so being a surgeon basically helps them stay alive. All of these skills are important, like they have their very own importance, and you can do so much with them. Because we leveled up, we have now another focus point that we can add in one skill. Let's see, where do we want to add it? Trade is fairly important. Stewardship, with stewardship we would pay less wages, and I believe that that is a good idea. It's either that or horse riding. Let's go with stewardship. Paying less wages sounds like a good idea early on. It's gonna save us a lot of time in the long run. Now we need to make some money somewhere. We get all these messages of things happening around the world. We have some forest bandits. Forest bandits are a bit tougher than the looters. Mess with us and we'll sell our lives dearly. You can see that they have some bows on their back. This guy has better armor. Sometimes you don't get a chance, like the bandits will attack you and they will offer you a chance to basically pay them in order to escape with your lives. We can command our troops in different ways. Basically, we can... Let's see, how was it? Footmen, arrows. Like, we can ask the archers to hold fire until a certain point. For early battles, it doesn't matter too much. But for later battles, it will matter a lot. I am going to defend here. Right, we don't want him to fire at us too much. Okay, we've won. They took down some of our warriors as well. You can see we have 4 of them. We've lost 4 of them. But that's how the beginning of the game is. And we have a bushwhacker. Gained a bit of money. Now we can add a bow, which we could use in battle. I don't really like the spear, so maybe we'll add a bow. Splintered arrows or arrows. Neither really seems to matter. Okay, we found some meat, some ragged boots. Good, and we're nearby our city, or the city of Licarion. Maybe we can make some money here. Let's see, trade. Trade the spear, trade the pitchfork, the arrows. The meat is too cheap right now. Let me do a refresh on that because I'm selling the grain one more time. We can lock this in place just so we don't sell them by mistake in the future. Okay. And that should be it. That should be more than enough money. I will not be upgrading anyone right now because I want to do the mission first. We'll go to the tavern, we'll ransom these people, and we're getting 29 now. As you can see, we're getting some points in roguery by doing that. You can be a bit of a bounty hunter. There are many ways in which you can make money. Either whether you want to do training or not, it's not important. We can recruit a bunch more soldiers, and it might be a good idea to do so. Let's see, buy products. Oh, I think we will probably need to. If I go to buy products and I say that I want you to give us... What was it, 30? Yeah, we don't have enough troops to carry it, so let's recruit. We'll stay at 20. Going over your limit, you can, but you'll have certain problems. Okay, we'll do this. It's good that we have money. We're just a bit over. I will sell this meat just to have a day's worth of cash.
What do you want with us?
We're gonna fight here. You see that you could also send your troops. If you do that, you will not be participating in battle. Especially when you're wounded, you can't participate in battle, but you can send your troops. And you'll also gain some points into tactics. But let's do our best here. As you can see, because we have some tactics points, we can now set up our troops. How do we want them? Where do we want them? And all that. Face the direction, put them in a formation. There's a lot that we can do. But for now, we're just gonna stay at this.
Charge!
Let's use our arrow skills, which is very poor. Okay. I am distracting them. I want to distract them just so we give a better chance to the rest of our people. For example, we can do that. We can disrupt them with the horse, and we can attract attention. There we go. We just made it easier for us. We gained some renown, we gained some morale, and we've gained a lot more stuff. But still, it's weak. Since our capacity has been reached, we are going to take some penalties to our speed. Let's see. We can go back to the village first of all to sell. Buy products, please. And we'll say that we want to sell all of these. 442 gold. Perfect. We'll leave. We'll just go to Sagora. And as we finish this mission, you can see that our speed from 7.4 is now at 5.3. Let's talk to you.
It's been a while.
Etsy, about the task you gave me. Here is your grain, thank you. We gave them grain. We got 22 points now in charm. So if you take a look at our character, we are getting very close to either gaining influence by winning tournament, or 1 morale while in besieged settlement, or we could go the other way with virile, 30% more likely to have children, and 10% chance to get +1 relation with a random notable in governed settlement per day, while continuous projects are active. These are not as important for early on, but you can see that we can get increased relationships with the NPCs by getting more points in this one. And later on we will be able to get even more influence, and so on and so forth. But this will be all the time that we have for today. We're gonna come back tomorrow and we're gonna continue from where we left off. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all to have a wonderful day.